Okay, so I just took a pregnancy test because I've been feeling really off, and I didn't know that it was this or if it was something else. I'm pregnant. There it is. And it's such bad timing right now. So I'm gonna take another one. I have a cup. My daughter doesn't use this. This is my pee. And I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna take one more, and I decided to record it because when I did this one, it says it takes 2 minutes, and it didn't take that long for this to show up. So I'm gonna take another one. Here's my pee. So I'm just gonna dip it in there. 1, 2. I'm just gonna lay it flat. It's going through. And as you can see, there's the line. So I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. This is the one that is loading. Sorry, I'm shaking. As you can see, the line went through and it hasn't even been a minute. So it just makes me wonder how long I've been pregnant for. I just can't believe it. And it's the same thing. They're both really, the line is really bright. And this is the one I took in the beginning. So they're both pregnant. And I can't keep it. And I would love to keep a baby, but at the moment it's just not good. I can't have a kid right now. I cannot. I just don't know the process of what I have to do when you find out you're pregnant and you can't have a kid. What's the process of getting rid of a kid? I'm just like looking at them because it's just so crazy. They both are pregnant. And I knew something was up.
That is one sparkly present.
But it's like, wow, I'm like so speechless right now. I felt different. I know I did. I was really like sick. And that's all. I just wanted to document. I should have done it when I first did it. But it's the same reaction that I have now. I'm just so shocked because it's not a good time right now, and I'm not sure what the process is getting rid of a child. I don't know how that works. So shocked that there's another baby in my belly. I'm just nervous to go to the doctors and find out how far along I am. That's all. I'm here getting an ultrasound to see how far along I am. And then I have an appointment tomorrow to talk about how I'm gonna do an abortion. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to cope with this. I can't have the dad come in, which really hurts because he was willing to come in and support me. I don't understand why I have to go through so much pain right now. Finding out that I'm pregnant and finding out that I'm not with the dad, we're broken up, and finding out that I have to, I don't have to, it's my choice to have an abortion so I don't know how I'm going to be able to pay for the abortion. When I asked about it, they said it can range from $1,000 to more than that. Medicaid covers it. It just sometimes it just depends. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what to look forward into. I'm really nervous, and it hurts me that things couldn't work out between my significant other, and now we're kind of going through this as friends, which is just really weird. And I just look at it, I'm just like, the timing was so terrible, especially right now, knowing that we aren't together. We haven't been together for a while. We've been broken up. Been going through it. Especially me, like, this has been really hard on me. Just like the breakup in itself. And then on top of it, finding out about this. I don't know how to feel. I'm numb. I went into the back and the lady said that I guess there's like a whole bunch of people that are waiting to get an ultrasound, so I have to wait. She doesn't know how long it'll take. So I wait on that, and then tomorrow I have to go to another place to get another ultrasound and take a pregnancy test, and she's gonna discuss my options of abortion. She also said when I took my pregnancy test, the line right away popped up, and it didn't take 2 minutes. So she said if it's an ectopic pregnancy, I guess, that I can't have an abortion because it's dangerous for me and the child. So to be honest, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I'm not sure how to feel. I just know that this is really gonna hurt me, and this is really gonna affect me the worst, because me and the dad are not together. We're still talking, we're still friends, which is nice, but we're not living together, so I kind of have to go through this alone. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. We both agreed to abortion because obviously we can't have a kid. We're not together. We already have a daughter, and money is really hard with a kid. I don't have my own place. We don't have our own place. So to have another kid, it's we can't. I personally can't. I don't think I can go through having another kid at the moment. And I don't know. I'm lost. My feelings are everywhere. It's worried. I don't know what's gonna happen. And he has to go to work today, so I'm kind of left alone. We have to have someone who's working and provide for our daughter. So I'm not gonna be too crazy on him about calling in and coming to my appointments, because someone needs to make money. So I'm not too crazy about that. I mean, of course, I wish he was here with me, and I wish that I wasn't the only one going through this. I'm really nervous about seeing this ultrasound. I don't want to see my kid before I have to get rid of it. That's just gonna kill me. I'm completely against abortion, but in a situation like this, I kind of have no choice. I don't have money. I'm really not in a good place right now. Everything's just falling apart, and we have to take turns watching our kid every Friday. I get her on Friday, take her back to her dad that following Friday. We'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm just empty and I don't know how to feel. I'm just worried. My future relationship with the dad. And we're still friends, we still hang out, but I don't know if this is gonna affect us bad, good, really good. I don't know. I'll get back to you guys. The 23rd of December, and I found out I was pregnant on the 20th. Went to the doctor's on the 21st and got an ultrasound done, and it said I was 7 weeks, 4 days pregnant. Here's my paper when I went. Pregnant. I don't know, you guys probably can't see. I plan on keeping the baby. Just because I was thinking about abortion, and I feel like that's gonna be really hard on me. And I'm already kind of going through a lot right now, not being with the dad. And finding out some crazy stuff happen. So I'm pregnant. Have another baby in my belly, and it's crazy. I'm gonna go through with this pregnancy, and I'm not doing an abortion, whether the dad is involved or not. He said he was gonna be involved, but obviously not as much because we're not together. So it's gonna be hard, but I think it would have been way harder if I would have gotten rid of my child. Knowing that I killed my child, which is really hard. I know I can do it. I did it with my daughter, and I can do it again. If I work, I can do it. I'm in the first trimester of my pregnancy again. I'm taking my prenatals that I had left. I had like 4 of these after I had my daughter, and I actually still have some left. So I'm taking my prenatals, and I'm gonna keep this baby, and I'm gonna have another child. And I know it's gonna be hard, definitely, because one is definitely a handful, but abortion and the options with abortion, and it's too hard for me to think about doing something like that. I can't. It just made me really depressed thinking about it. So I'm gonna have this baby, and I'm gonna take you guys along the journey with me. I may not have the dad with me all the time, but you know what? I don't care. At this point, things are just everywhere between me and him, and I can't really do much. I already did, and that's the best that I can do, is at least I tried. So there's my update. I'm pregnant. 7 weeks, 6 days counting today. It is the 23rd of December. I found out on the 20th, went to the doctor's 21st. That's when they told me I was 7 weeks, 4 days. So we'll just count the days on from there. Hello, so my name is Marcella. I was a teen mom with my daughter over here that you're going to be seeing everywhere. I was 18 when I found out I was pregnant with her, and I currently found out I'm pregnant with baby number 2 at age 20. This story's a lot different because this one requires me kind of by myself this time. So as you can see, like in those videos that I included, basically that was when I took my pregnancy test, and I decided to take another test and record it because I didn't record with my daughter when I found out I was pregnant. And that was my real reaction. I was like, even like the second time, I obviously knew I was pregnant, so I know I was gonna find out I was pregnant again, but the timing was really hard. I talk a lot about, I'm really just gonna get into the whole entire story, and I think this is a good fresh start for the beginning of this channel, because this is the reality of what it's like right now. So I'm gonna talk about my story of finding out I'm pregnant, and then I'm going to talk about basically what I was thinking about, all the things I was going through, the things that I'm currently going through right now, and a whole bunch of things that I kind of just want to sit and talk to you guys about. And there's, hi, You want to say hi to the camera? I don't want you to blink. Can I go back to my video, baby? The 20th? The 20th, and I went to the doctor's on the 21st. Okay, she's just gonna be in the video. Sorry. She's kind of at a point where she tells me no now. She's getting to that point. So don't touch that, please. So I found out I was pregnant on the 20th, went to the doctor's on the 21st, and I found out I was 7 weeks, 4 days pregnant. And today, it is the 3rd of January, and it is a Monday. So it's been kind of a while and I haven't updated. So I haven't like with anything, I haven't like said anything, I haven't done anything. I've just kind of kept quiet because there's been a lot that's been going on that I haven't been able to really talk about, to be honest, and it's been kind of hard to talk about it. I'm probably gonna cry and I'm probably gonna get emotional. I'm gonna try not to, but my hormones are kind of all over the place because I am pregnant again, so I may cry, so don't judge me, please. Mommy life is really difficult, and I mean, I love it, but like in the situation that I am in right now, it is very difficult. It's very hard. So when I found out I was pregnant, I called my friend. First thing was I called my friend because me and the dad, we broke up. It's already been like about a month or so. We broke up and I told him that I was feeling pretty sick. We both weren't convinced that I was pregnant or anything. I was not convinced that I was pregnant at all either. I thought it was just a stomach bug. I was throwing up. I was going to work, getting really sick, throwing up. I was throwing up everything that I was eating, and I knew something was up because I've never kind of been at a point where I was constantly throwing up all the time. I thought that it was just like a stomach bug or like a stomach virus, something like that. So I told my ex-boyfriend's mom, and I told her, and I even told my mom, I was like, I just want to take a pregnancy test just in case. I just want to get that out of the way so I don't have that thought in my head anymore, and I can worry about what's really going on. Little did I know. And his mom got me a pregnancy test. I can't remember the exact day, probably like 4 days after I told her that I was feeling like that. I even told ex-boyfriend that as well, and she bought me the tests. And I went straight upstairs and I was pretty convinced. I was like, I know what's gonna happen. I know it's gonna say negative. I know. And I had my daughter in the restroom with me, and I took the first test, which was the first picture that like was in the video. The first picture. That was my first pregnancy test, and even that picture before it even had the line, that was before I even like decided to dip it in the pee. I took a picture of it because I just wanted to send it to his mom and let him know, and send it to him and let him know as well. Little did I know I was gonna find out I was pregnant. But I took the first test, then that picture, I'll probably just insert it right here so you guys can see it. That picture popped up and it was positive. I started crying, I started freaking out. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And because I'm not with the dad, it was really, really hard, and I didn't know what to do. We were kind of in a situation where we weren't really talking. We were still trying to be friends, but it was really hard on me being friends with him. It was really hard on me going through this breakup and accepting it, and just going through a lot without him. So my first thought was, let me call my friend. I called her and I told her. We both were super shocked, and I said, okay, now I gotta face the butt in the room. I need to call him. I need to call my ex-boyfriend, and I need to tell him. And I called him and I told him, and he was really surprised. He was like, it's crazy how it happened right away. It took us a long time with Adelina, and we were just really shocked. And he said, we can't keep it. We're gonna have to do abortion. And I was down with it too. It wasn't like I was forced into that. I was down to do an abortion as well, because obviously I didn't have the dad with me, so it would be completely different having a kid in a home where the dad and I are not together and we're kind of in like a bad situation. And right now we're not on good terms anymore. We stopped being friends. Things kind of happened, and now things are just falling apart between me and him. It was really hard. It was really hard. And he took me to the hospital the next day, which was that video where I was outside. That was when I went to the hospital. I was waiting for him to bring some Wendy's, because when I told him I just want to get an ultrasound, I want to know how far along I am so that way I can go about this abortion. You need to know how far along you are, and if you're 5 weeks pregnant, you can't have an abortion yet. The baby's like way too small. And they said if I had an ectopic pregnancy, which is why my pregnancy test like popped up so fast, they said that I had an ectopic pregnancy, which is dangerous for me and the baby to go through an abortion. So I was just having like so many thoughts, and I just wanted to go to the doctors and see how far along I was and if I had this ectopic pregnancy, which I didn't. They didn't tell me anything that the baby was growing outside of the uterus, so thank God. It was hard. When I went there, I told them I just want to find out how far along I am. They said there was a wait. There was a lot of people waiting to get an ultrasound done or something like that. The doctor wasn't there, something like that. And I had to wait. So my ex-boyfriend had to go to work, and it was already like 12:30, something like that. He had to go to work at 2. So we only had like a couple minutes to kind of spend together. When we went into the hospital, I had told the lady if he can come with me because I didn't want to go through it alone. Sadly, he couldn't, but I didn't see the baby, so it didn't affect me or anything. I wasn't crying. I mean, I was, but it wasn't to the point where, oh my God, I see my baby, this is really sad. You know what I mean? So I didn't see the baby. And he went to get Wendy's. I was waiting outside, and I ate Wendy's with him. We talked, and he dropped off my daughter to my parents. I just waited, and they pulled me to the back finally. They drew blood, and they basically just took forever. They waited for like my blood test to come in, and then they waited for all these other things that they were doing for like my urine samples, a whole bunch of different things. And I finally waited, and I finally had the lady come in and do the ultrasound, which for some reason the ultrasound that she gave me was pretty painful. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't as how I remembered a ultrasound to feel like. It was pretty painful. She was kind of like, she was really pushing on my stomach. I have this thing that goes inside of your uterus, your vagina, and basically she was like moving it around like so much. She didn't have it in one place, and it was hurting pretty bad. So after she was done with that, she didn't say anything. Nothing like that. She had like the screen facing her, and I was laying like this way with my head up, so I couldn't see the screen at all. I just saw the lady as she was like going through my stomach and taking pictures and stuff like that. So I didn't see the baby. The baby's like was way too small. I found out I was 7 weeks 4 days pregnant, so the baby's probably just a little tiny thing. You can't even really see the baby, to be honest. But she left. They came back, said I'm pregnant, congrats, and I told the doctors I cannot have the kid. Where do I go for the adoption? And sadly, I did not have a doctor that helped me. I guess she just moved in from where I live, and she was all, I actually do not know where to even go. She's all, I don't even know like who to tell about that. So I was kind of just like, what the hell do I do? So what I was doing was, as soon as I got home, I told 7 weeks 4 days pregnant, and he said, okay, we have to obviously do an abortion. And I was like, okay, yeah, I know and I started like looking at places here where I live for abortion, and I found this place. It was called CareNet Pregnancy, and I went to them the next day. I told boyfriend if he can take me, and he took me, to that appointment, they just asked me a lot of questions. They told me how abortion is gonna work. It really affects you in life, and they were giving me a whole bunch of options. Like there's also adoption, where you can do where you don't talk to your kid at all, where you can go to your kids' birthdays and stuff like that, and that's it. Or you can like fully be in their life, where the parents are sending you pictures of your kid, which that was really hard on me. I don't ever want to think about abortion, and it's really different for everybody. But for me, I can never think about putting my kid up for adoption. That's really hard on me. So basically, they were telling me about how abortion works. There's the pill and surgical abortion and all those things. And they were just telling me about why I want to have an abortion. They were really understanding. And I think it was just very overwhelming for me, because to be honest, I really didn't know what I wanted. And I know that we both wanted to have an abortion because we knew that it's not a good time, because we're not together. Financially, it would be hard. I live with my parents, and this is the room that I am in. It's a very small room. This whole room is technically my daughter's room. From this little corner, from this whole entire dresser is hers. I don't even have a dresser other than the one that's behind you guys, but this is like my pant dresser. Everything in there is mine, but like on the bottom is also hers, and on the top as well. Everything in this little corner is hers as well, and everything on top of this dresser is also hers. So it's not a very big room, and it was making me think, okay, I cannot have another kid, because where would I put another child, and certain things like that. So I was really thinking about that, and it got really emotional. I try to hold it in as much as I can, but as soon as I left, my ex-boyfriend picked me up. I got really emotional, and I started crying. And I started telling him about how I'm not going to be able to even just stand the thought of getting rid of my child. And even though the baby is so small, I'd rather get rid of the kid now than if the baby's older. But still, it really affected me. And from the moment I found out I was pregnant, and the moment that and the moment that I knew that I have to start thinking about abortion, it really clicked to my head, and I started getting really emotional. I started feeling really depressed right after that, and I didn't even go through an abortion. I was just talking about it, and it was really hard on me. I told everyone. I told my parents as soon as I found out. I told his mom. I told them that I have to do an abortion because we're not together. Financially, it would be hard again, because I had a job, and things happened between my job, and I don't have a job now, and I'm pregnant now, so it's really hard. Dad's the only one that's working, but me and him are not really on good terms right now, so hard. He's being really weird with me, and I don't really want to put my business with me and him onto any social media or anything like that, but things are really weird between me and him at the moment, so I don't really know at this point with like the kid, he feels with the kid, certain things like that. So financially, I'm a little worried. But basically, they were telling me like there's always financial help. They were worried that I couldn't do it, that I didn't have no trust in myself, that I couldn't do it. And I know I can take care of another kid. I mean, I did with this little one. I mean, yeah, it was very, very hard, and I had help. My ex-boyfriend, because he was living with me, and now he isn't, and we're not talking much. So it's gonna be so much harder. And the whole kind of taking care of our daughter, kind of like joint custody, him watching her for 7 days, me watching her for 7 days. It's usually how it's been. As he works, a lot of the times, he doesn't have no one to really watch her, so he has me watch her. So things have been really difficult with that whole situation about watching the daughter and kind of having equal time with our kid is really hard right now. That's the situation I'm in right now. But yeah, I got really emotional talking about abortion, and I told him if he would consider adoption, and he was totally against it as well. I said I am too, but I'm really not going to be able to go through killing my kid. It's going to affect me very much. It was affecting me. I was getting really emotional, really sad. I knew I wasn't going to be able to go through an abortion and go through killing my kid and go through the pill and just all of that. The girl also said that, with an abortion, that it doesn't ruin your chances with having a kid, but it makes it harder with having a kid. You have really bad depression. She told me that a lot of girls who had abortions regret it weeks after, years later, even years later in time, that they're still crying, thinking about how they wish they never did it, and they live with basically the nightmare of day they did it and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And I could not put myself through that. I know me, I'm a very sensitive person to dogs, to animals, certain things like that, like death in general. It's really sad for me. And thinking about like the whole kid situation and the baby that is in my stomach, knowing that it's my baby, like another my baby, and to know how much, I don't know where she's at. She's in the closet. She's probably making a mess. I'm gonna have a mess to clean up after this video. She means the world to me, and it was really hard for me to think about going and trying to get rid of another child. That would be really hard on me. So he said, okay, well, we'll obviously be there for the kid and stuff like that, but obviously it's gonna be different because we aren't together, and I have to do like joint custody again with that baby, and it's gonna really affect me. But I think it would affect me more going through the abortion and also going through this breakup, knowing that I killed my kid and knowing that I'm feeling it a lot more because I'm going through a really tough breakup, because I really did love him, and things ended. I don't want to say bad terms, but I do want to say things ended like to a point where I was not expecting it to end the way it did. Obviously, because we had a kid, it wasn't just a boyfriend-girlfriend type situation. We had a kid at a young age. I was 18. He was 17 years old. When we found out, I had her when I was 19, and he also had her when he was 18. So we were really young. And we went through parenting pretty young, at a young age. And financially we struggled. We constantly had his mom help us all the time. I would ask my parents to help us with diapers and formula. She was the expensive baby, so she needed the Similac formula, which is very expensive formula. Not breastfeed. I cannot breastfeed. I think that's just like, it's different for all different type of women, and I don't really want to like get too into like my body and stuff like that, but I'm very sensitive, so I can't do it. So I put my baby on formula, and I plan on putting this baby on formula as well, just not the expensive formula, because that really hurt us. Diapers was really hard as well. Wipes was also really hard. That was when it was just the dad that was only working. It wasn't working my whole pregnancy, it was just him. Then even after, I didn't start working until she got a little bit older, and it was a little struggle because it was just him. So basically things got really difficult and basically with this kid I decided that I'm going to keep it. I had 2 long days where I was just sitting in my room, in this room, thinking and holding my daughter, thinking about if this is what I really want to do. And I had already discussed it with my ex-boyfriend that, okay, if I plan on keeping it, what will happen? And he just said he'll be there for the baby and stuff like that. But obviously not as much because he works and because, you know, we aren't together. So it's not, I don't know how to explain it. So I decided to keep the baby. Not too sure how far along I am right now. I would say like 9 weeks. Katie didn't give me like an estimate of when the baby was supposed to come, like the exact day. She said around August, but she didn't say when. So I'm waiting till the 7th, which is Friday, this Friday actually, of January. and I want to see how far along I am and when my actual estimate delivery time is, and then that's when I can really start kind of tracking this baby down. I know it's going to be very difficult. I know I just started talking about like financially and stuff like that, and where I'm gonna put the baby. I'll figure it out, because I honestly, this baby has been a really huge distraction and has been a really huge help to the breakup. And this baby has been a really huge help with this breakup and has been a really huge help just in general. This baby is kicking my butt right now though. I'm having like really massive stomach cramps. I'm having trouble sleeping. I'm sweating so much. I am not craving anything sweet, which is crazy because I was craving so many things sweet with this child. But for some reason this one, all I want is salty stuff, citrusy things, things that give me massive heartburn, and I'm having really massive heartburn. And it's just the beginning. I had massive heartburn with my daughter, but when I was around like 25 weeks, and I'm only, you know, a couple weeks in this pregnancy, and it is affecting me pretty bad. That's my story. Yeah, I'm going through a tough breakup, and I'm also going through pregnancy, and I'm going through doing things kind of on my own, which isn't what I had with her. So it's gonna be pretty hard. It's gonna be very, very different. Having a kid is very difficult, but it's not something to the point where you cannot do it and you're not capable of it. What happened? What happened? What's wrong? I was able to do it, and that's speaking from someone who never had experience. I was the youngest in the family, so I never had any babies to hold. I never even knew how to change diapers. I never knew how to feed. I never knew how to do all the things that I do now. Because I already have a daughter, I pretty much have somewhat experience with another kid, so I know what to do, what not to do, tactics, tips and tricks, certain things like that that worked with her that I want to try with this another little baby. I am keeping the baby. I'm gonna just keep making videos and stuff like that and just kind of add on, do it like in parts instead of doing it in one full video, because I know it's gonna take a long time. A lot of moms are going through having a kid without the dad and stuff. It is really hard, and this isn't what I was expecting in life. And I might get emotional with this because this has really affected me very much, good and bad. And it's been really hard to think about this whole baby situation, and to think about the dad, and to think about just a whole bunch of things that I don't have control over anymore. And it sucks because a lot of the times you don't have control over things, so you can't push things onto anybody. So one wants to be involved, then okay. If they don't, you can't force them, you know what I mean? It's really hard, and the situation that I'm in is really difficult. This baby decided to come at the worst timing ever, and this one was not planned. This one was definitely unexpected. I love the baby. It's not like the baby was a mistake or anything, but the baby was not planned. So this just kind of happened just randomly out of the bloom. Boom, guess what? I'm pregnant. The time that I wasn't really expecting to be pregnant, weren't really planning on really having a kid until a little bit later, until we actually had a place. But here I am now, and I feel like I can do it as long as I have confidence and I have a lot of support. I think I can do it, and it's gonna be hard, but I want to be a good mom. And I think that this is, I'd rather go through waking up every single night with my child and cradling them than going through the thought of you killed your kid kind of thing, which I need to figure things out with that. And yeah, at the moment things are not what I had expected, but what can you do? And I'm trying not to stress about as much because I do have a baby in my stomach, and I don't want to stress to the point where I have a miscarriage and I lose the baby that way, because that will also hurt me very much. So I'm trying not to stress too much. Not gonna lie, it's very hard. I have my times where I'm crying and I'm struggling, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. I have my times where I'm crying, and that's just me being the most honest that I can ever be to really anybody. Of course, I'm struggling and I'm feeling it, And I will update you guys probably either in another video or see how long this video gets when I add this clip into that other clip that I just kind of included in the beginning. And we'll see how everything goes, but wish me luck, guys.